Hey guys, I think we got a good one for you this week because you knew it was coming. We're taking on Operation Varsity Blues in this week's Hot Topic. And we got a twofer for you this week because I've got the story of the mysterious death of Thomas Ince. And later, Steph tells us the story of Donald Sterling, the worst owner in NBA history and the best racist in NBA history. All this and more on this week's Drama Club.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it do. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to NY.
I went to the Korean spa though and sat in the wet sauna and just try to breathe in real deep and breathe out.
Yeah.
It
Did your
helped.
mocos come out?
Yeah, it
Oh,
helped.
That's good. What are you drinking?
Drinking vinegar?
Drinking vinegar?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's like strawberry and apple cider vinegar. It just tastes like strawberry soda.
That's disgusting.
It's good for you. It's good for your digestion.
Man, you always sick. Good thing you drink that vinegar, though. All that kombucha and vinegar is really working for you. You're never not sick.
Otherwise, I would be dead, low key.
Kombucha saved my life. Last night, kombucha saved my life. Last night, kombucha saved my life. Hey.
Oh, yesterday I went to. I did something really cool. I went to see.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I saw Mildred Pierce in the theater.
Man, that is really cool.
Isn't that so cool?
How was it?
It was amazing. I was tripping. It was 35 millimeter. People were gasping and shit.
Yeah.
It was
the OG
so good.
Mildred Pierce?
Yeah,
or?
the OG Mildred Pierce. It was
That's
so
awesome.
good. And it was awesome too because that I was thinking that people think of who their favorite movie villains are and pause for a second. What comes to mind? Fucking Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Maybe Heath Ledger as the Joker.
A little action figure where cartoon ones are the most typical.
Yeah.
If you think of villain. Christian Bale in American Psycho is a good one.
And let me tell you something. One of the best movie villains of all time is
Yeah.
Mildred Pierce's daughter.
Fuck yeah, that bitch
fucking
is
cunt.
evil.
Yeah.
That girl fuck. You want to kill her.
Yeah, she's a fucking bitch. And
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Super
She's awesome.
bitch. Super bitch. Oh, I also like in Bridesmaids, that Australian actress.
Oh, yeah, I like her.
Yeah, she a villain.
Is she a villain though? Because she's she redeems herself.
A little bit.
And after that, I ate at El Coyote Cafe.
Oh, nice.
It was every single person who was in there was talking about Sharon Tate.
Oh my gosh. I bet it's going to blow up after the movie comes out.
Yeah, I saw them filming on the street not too long ago.
That's cool. Our Sharon Tate follower got banned for something on Instagram. She posted a partially nude, artistic portrait of Sharon. But I think nipple was showing.
Oh.
And so she got banned.
That's fucking bullshit.
I know. Hashtag free the nipple, guys.
Free the nipple for sure. It's because honestly, if they're going to ban it, they need to ban men's nipples too.
Yeah, don't nobody want to see your guys' fucking useless nipples. Your nipples are useless.
I think about that when I watch Drag Race sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes their titties will be out, and I'm like, why is this allowed?
No, and low key when they have their full makeup on and hair, it's low key uncomfortable
for their titties to be out.
Yeah, I don't want to see your nipples. Put those away.
It's only uncomfortable if it's just fat. If they have actual titties, then I'm fine with it, even better. But if it's just fat, then put that thing away.
Some of them on Drag Race have fake breasts.
No, but they have titties because they're fat.
Oh,
you know?
That's embarrassing.
I think there's only been one, maybe two contestants. I haven't watched it for that long, so I'm not sure. But for sure,
I've
one.
actually never seen that show.
The little that I've seen of it is so fun.
I know it's great.
Such a
It
fun
looks
show.
great.
But only one contestant has been, I think, openly trans while on the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I would imagine that's a whole nother ball game.
That's what, and RuPaul got a lot of heat for that.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be like a whole nother competition?
Yeah, but people were like, no, drag is for everyone. Drag is inclusive,
okay.
like whatever.
Okay.
And Rue doesn't, or at least didn't see it that way for a long time, but like he got kind of shamed into letting trans people on the show.
My cousin Sophia from El Salvador likes RuPaul's music. Like listens to it all the time.
Well, I like that one. I like his first song, like you better
better
work, cover
Work
girl.
it, girl. Yeah.
That's a bop.
That is a bop. I remember this tweet that went viral years ago. Like, fuck, we're talking maybe like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Seth Rogen said, once when I was 10 years old, I saw a picture of RuPaul in like full drag, and he thought it was a woman, and he was like, and I jacked off, and then he said, only later did I find out that it was a man.
Yeah.
And RuPaul replied to him, and she was like, a little bit of Jergens, a little bit of imagination, and look at you.
I love RuPaul so much.
And Seth Rogen loved it and like retweeted it, and he was like, this is the best day of my life.
I've always loved RuPaul, but like I think since I started watching Drag Race, like I stan RuPaul now.
Yeah.
Just
He's
like
cool as fuck.
Amazing, quick-witted, sharp, and
Yeah,
I love RuPaul. Hey, did you hear they pulled the Michael Jackson Simpsons episode?
No, like from rotation.
Yeah.
Oh wow, good.
Yeah.
That's a good ass song though.
Immediately when I read that, the first thing that came to mind was Lisa, it's your birthday.
It's not him singing, right?
It is.
We can still like that. No, it's not him singing.
It is.
No, it's not.
They had the whole thing. They had one of the creators just did a whole interview with Daily Beast and said it was him.
Really? But
Yeah.
I thought forever people thought it wasn't Michael.
People thought it
singing.
wasn't him because I don't think that he was credited, but it was him. And he said his interview in the Daily Beast is fucked up because he said that he thinks that Michael used that appearance for a long time after to groom more kids.
No. Oh God. That's horrible.
Yeah. And like now I'm dying to watch that episode.
Yeah, it's really good. That episode's awesome. You know what other episode's good? The one with like the snake festival.
I don't remember this.
Remember a bunch of snakes get let loose in Springfield?
Yeah. And then like they are literally like
They're
people
whacking
high.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a song in that one too, and that one's good. I don't remember it though. Fuck.
Yeah, and they go in people's houses and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking snakes. All right. Well, guys, welcome to the Drama Club. My name is Stephanie.
Yo, what up, guys? My name is May, and together we are here to give you your weekly dose of drama. We have 2 major drama scandals for you this week.
Yeah, we like to call these episodes twofers in case you're just joining us.
Because you get 2 for the price of 1.
Ooh. Send us money. Just kidding.
But for real, though.
So
I'm trying to go to Singapore.
For the low price.
But on this cruise, the social activities included infidelity and death.
Is there a name to this scandal?
I think it's called Varsity Blues.
Oh, okay. So, the big ass drama this week is, according to May, known as Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
These bitches are paying to get their children admitted into colleges in California.
Or not just California, all over. This is
Was
a
there
scandal.
another state?
There's Arizona, Washington. It's everywhere.
I said Yale, Georgetown.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
All right, well, you want to jump in here? This is the episode of May.
Called Operation Varsity Blues.
Yeah, and it was funny because we found out it's called Operation Varsity Blues, and James Vanderbeek like quote tweeted it, and he put like his famous line from the movie where it was like, "I don't want your life." He said that the kids should have told that to their parents.
Oh my God, I love Twitter. That's amazing. Wow. So the 2 main stars that have been indicted are Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. I can't believe it.
I can't believe that Felicity Huffman was sitting in a county jail. Like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
right?
What kind of life are we living right now?
I know. And William H. Macy just chilling in their mansion. looking like the crackhead dad from Shameless that he plays.
like, do you remember during the 2012 election when Joe Biden got up on the stage at the DNC and said, Osama bin Laden is dead and General Motors is alive? I kept thinking, like, Felicity Huffman is in prison and, like, Donald Trump is out here walking these streets.
Oh my gosh.
It's super fucked up, obviously, though. I mean, already a playing field that's not level in the slightest and doesn't pretend to be gets even more, like, unfair.
Yeah, a lot of my baby cousins are seniors in high school, and it's so fucked up. They're so stressed out. Like, they're so worried that they won't make the cut. And the thing is, they look at because every school, when you apply, tells you, like, generally, like, where you have to be in order to be, like, accepted. But they know that even if they are within that range, there's still a big chance you're not going to get accepted because, like you said, it's not a level playing field. These fucking kids that don't deserve it are getting in just because they know somebody or they paid somebody.
Yeah. And it's so unnecessary, right? Like,
yeah, they don't even want that. Like, Lori Laughlin's daughter, she don't want to go to school.
Yeah. Then what is she doing there? And then it's crazy that she found out that her mom was indicted while she was partying on a USC official's yacht.
Shut up, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And also, I didn't know Lori Loughlin had it like that. I didn't know she was married to Massimo.
Me either. And that was the other big tea that I was like, oh shit. And everybody was talking about that too.
Yeah. Okay. This is some personal tea, but I went to Massimo's son's birthday party 2 years ago and I met him, and he is, I don't know, am I allowed to say as my legal counsel, Stef?
Fucking say, well, I don't know. Say it.
He is
who, Massimo or the son?
Massimo's son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It was true, right?
Yeah. He was like faded as fuck. He was like, sniffling and shit, and like he was nice to me. He was a cool guy. I would go to another birthday party of his if he invited me. Honestly, he was very nice. The liquor was flowing. It was at a Santa Monica like lounge. It was very cool. I had a lot of fun, but I don't think he went to college. I don't know. Maybe he did. I could be wrong.
They paid extra for that. I only
met him that one time, but
fuck, man. I wonder what's gonna happen.
Well,
so they're both out on bail as of this moment.
Lori, what's her name? Lori? Yeah. Lori Loughlin's bond was set at $1 million.
That's fucking crazy, right?
That's insane. And so was
Felicity
Massimo's.
Huffman's was low.
Oh, I didn't know how much hers were.
It was like $250,000.
Okay, but you know what? Because Massimo and Lori have money to just like take off.
Yeah,
that's
true though. Yeah, that's a flight risk.
That's a flight risk.
Is he a citizen of somewhere else naturally?
I don't know. I think so.
Is he Italian or something?
Yeah, it sounds Italian to me.
Yeah. Whew. That shit was everywhere. People were fucking hating on that.
Yeah.
It's like
as they should.
Yeah, for real. And then the funniest shit was everybody going through their old Instagram and tweets.
Yeah.
It's like touring college campuses today. So exciting. And then all the times stupid. Felicity Huffman posted her and William H. Macy with the hashtag partner in crime.
I want to know. So I guess they just don't have enough on William, because I know they have, for Felicity, they have emails, they have like phone calls because somebody is cooperating.
Yeah. Fuck.
When I was in high school, this was a common thing. I didn't realize that this was illegal, but I know a lot of girls who started doing crew. They joined the crew team. We didn't have a crew team at our school, but they like started like a crew club, which like late in the year. to just put that on their applications. I didn't realize that was,
and badminton too.
Yeah,
people just did badminton low key because they wanted something to throw on their admissions.
Right.
Yeah.
That was, and did you see that they even photoshopped a picture of someone playing water polo? One of the girls, I think it was
Lori Loughlin's daughter, the
Lori
YouTuber.
Loughlin's daughter. Okay, yeah. They photoshopped her face onto a photo of a water polo player and submitted her as a water polo player.
Do you think that the girls are as innocent as they're like, because they're saying like the children are silent victims, like that they didn't have anything to do with it and shit? What do you think?
I mean, even if they did know, I don't blame them. What are you supposed to do? You're a minor, and
and that's your parent. And you like assume that they're doing the right
best
thing, right?
Yeah. Honestly,
you have to. Yeah.
I don't care what happens to the
but
kids. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, but I do not believe that they didn't know what was happening.
But
like,
even
there's no way you're fucking around and getting your picture photoshopped on a
okay,
thing.
but even if they did know, it's not necessarily. I don't know if I would have if let's say I was 17 years old and I'm laying on my college application that I played water polo. I don't know if I would think necessarily associate that with a crime.
A federal crime.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you tell a
yeah.
little lie like that, like especially if your parents tell you to do it, then
Yeah, for sure. You think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, you think, oh, this is fine. It's a white lie. It's like when
they probably didn't know about the money.
Yeah, they probably didn't know about the money, or if they did, they probably thought it was like what
A donation
white people have always done
or whatever.
You know?
Yeah, donate to the library.
Yeah, I don't blame the kids. Whatever. Even if they did know, it's just, what are you gonna do to your like? Are you gonna say no to your parents when you're 17 years old? No, I can't say no to my parents now.
Say no. Yeah, fuck. If my dad told me I had to go back to college right now, I'd be like, fuck. I guess.
Whatever my parents tell me to do, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, of course.
I'm here for it.
Whatever. Yeah. Fuck. I wonder how it's gonna turn out.
Maybe some probation, some jail time.
Felicity Huffington, some real ass time. Is Desperate Cell Block Housewife.
I would watch that show.
Me too. Aunt Becky behind bars. Fuck. The Olsen twins are gonna go visit her with cigarettes and shit.
I don't know. It's too late now. And this is just like, are you going to ban like donations now and like legacy admissions? It's just, there's no way that you can level the playing field. So honestly, I don't care what happens to them. Like, whatever.
They have to try though. There is a way. I mean, it'll be work and it'll be hard, but they have to do something. They can't just be like, whatever, fuck that.
I don't know.
These kids don't even fucking deserve it.
It's not going to hurt them though. Whatever they're going to do, it's not going to hurt them. I wonder if they should expel those particular kids.
Yeah, they should.
Because if they're such high prospects, they could get into any other school.
Right? Totally.
What really happened on that weekend cruise, and was there a cover-up involving some of the most powerful people in Hollywood?
Okay, so I'm going to tell the story of the death of Thomas Ince. Don't stress if you don't know who Thomas Ince is. I mean, I'll tell you, but although the story centers around his death, ironically, and I guess sadly, what I, and I'm sure the rest of you dramatics will care about, is the scandal that goes on around his death and the players involved, which you'll definitely know. This is a big old-timey scandal where everything centers on gossip because no one knows what really happened, or at least no one is talking. So I'm going to tell the story from the angle of the most salacious reports at the time because that's what made it so scandalous. So most of this is from an episode about this event from the podcast You Must Remember This by the great Karina Longworth. And then I also rewatched the movie The Cat's Meow starring Kirsten Dunst, which is all about this and also tells the most salacious version of this story. So before I give you some background on Thomas Ince, I'll tell you the first headline that was in the LA Times about Ince's death. Movie producer shot on Hearst yacht. Okay, so Thomas Ince was born on November 16th, 1880 in Newport, Rhode Island.
God damn, 1880.
Yeah. He moved to Manhattan with his family when he was about 7 years old in 1887, and the whole family worked in the theater. So little baby Thomas was an actor, and by age 15, he made his Broadway debut. In 1907, he met and married his wife Nell, and they ended up having 3 kids. So until 1910, he'd worked as a stage actor and acting teacher, but then he tried to get work as a movie actor. P.S. What even is a movie in 1910? Like, it's probably just like literally a series of like sepia tone photographs that are just like playing behind like one of those pianos that plays itself.
Yeah, it's like and it's just like a cat dancing. Yeah. Fuck that.
He tried to be the star of that cat movie.
Yeah, he tried to be the cat.
Through some skill and a lot of luck, he became a movie director and ended up directing America's Sweetheart, Mary Pickford, who you might remember we talk about in the Joan Crawford episode because she was Joan's mother-in-law for a little bit. And she was super bitchy towards Joan. Remember, she owned the most crackin' house in the world with her man's Douglas Fairbanks. And when Joan would come over with Junior, Mary would sometimes pretend that like Joan just wasn't there. Like she was just invisible.
Yeah. Lori Loughlin's daughters dropped out of USC.
Thank God. But anyway, Mary Pickford was the biggest actress on earth, and Thomas Ince was her director, so she really put him on. So he moved to LA to work for a studio, tripled his New York salary, and is now a baller making $150 a week.
Wow, 150. There you go.
That's actually not really super ballin'. I looked it up and it was like $4,000 in today's money. So they're def comfortable, but they're not like ballers.
Mhm.
Nell actually had to pawn her wedding ring to pay the lease on their house on Franklin. I actually live right off Franklin, so I always drive by now and wonder which one it is. And I recently read a Joan Didion book, and she writes about the house that she lived in on Franklin, and I do the same thing with her, and I think I have hers like narrowed down. So Thomas looked around at the studio where he was working and thought, I can fucking do this. And by 1912, he bought some land, which today is Universal Studios, and he built his first movie studio, Inceville. At the time, LA was like a desert. There was nothing around, which was perfect for shooting westerns, so westerns became his fucking thing. He did something at the time which was kind of revolutionary. He hired a ton of Sioux Indians, and when I say a ton, I mean like 200 to be in his house acting troupe for his westerns. Most other studios were just putting white actors in red face at the time. I'm sure their portrayal was problematic, but it's a start. He also signed 2 Japanese stars instead of white people in yellowface, but this was another thing that was definitely problematic because Japanese people have historically hated the roles that he put them on.
Right.
Anyway, because he built his studios in a really modern way, it was literally the first of its kind to house everything in-house, like from the stage to the production offices, to the dressing rooms, prop houses, cafeterias, and everything. And he was able to produce more movies at once and kind of shifted away from being a director to overseeing the production of several films at once. So he invented the position of and was the first true film producer. Before him, the most important, most powerful person on a film set was the director, but after him, it shifted to what it is now, where it's the producer. He was also the first to say, hey, it's a director's job to direct, not edit, and screenwrite, and whatever else you need to make a film, because at the time, the director did it all. So he was the first to hire separate directors, screenwriters, and editors.
Wow.
So he's like a big time revolutionary in movies.
Right.
So all these changes to the way films were made was awesome because things got more efficient. So they were able to increase their production and started making 3 movies a week. We're talking 3 movies from start to finish, writing, producing, editing, and releasing all within a week.
Meanwhile, it took Howard Hughes like 5 fucking years to make his one-ass movie.
Because it's hard to edit and like hold a camera when your nails are all long and your hair is all long, you're recluse.
You're taking a piss in a milk bottle.
In 1912, he started making fewer films because he started making them longer and better. So basically, he invented the feature films that we all know and love today.
Yeah.
He then collabed with some other big Hollywood players such as D.W. Griffith to form a bigger studio, Triangle Films. Triangle started asking theaters to show their films for a month instead of changing out the films every day, which was how things were done back then.
Jesus.
It didn't work, though, because people weren't trying to pay the higher prices for these higher quality films. Triangle Studios spent a shit ton of cash to build and acquire studio space in Culver City and what is today known as Culver Studios. You'll recognize the Greek colonial style building from a bunch of movies like Gone with the Wind, Citizen Kane, and Legally Blonde, and just from driving by. I don't know if anyone else has ever said Gone with the Wind, Legally Blonde, and Citizen Kane in one sentence. So Thomas was super smart as far as acquiring real estate goes, and because the films he was trying to make were expensive and people weren't really trying to pay to see them, he was really bleeding cash. The only real money he was making was from renting out his studio to independent filmmakers, which wasn't nothing. It was a lot of money, but he wasn't making that mogul cash that he was trying to make.
Right.
Especially because by the 1920s, big-ass conglomerate studios, think MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers and shit, started taking over Hollywood.
Right.
He was determined to stay independent, though, because he wasn't trying to work for other people. He was trying to be the boss.
Right.
So he leaves Triangle Studios and starts Thomas H. Ince Studios.
I hate that fool's last name. Ince.
Ince.
Yeah.
Ince,
it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Ince. Meanwhile, he's been kind of a sickly dude, but he kept that shit quiet because he needed investors.
Uh-huh.
So our boy Thomas was trying to make money moves and enter William Randolph Hearst. On this podcast, we'll know Willie as Patty Hearst's grandfather. If you want to listen to Stef tell the story of Patty Hearst's kidnapping, go back and listen to our episode 2 Unrelated Cholos. It's super interesting.
Ooh, ooh.
Anyway, so Willie is the level of fucking boss that Thomas is trying to get to. We're talking money, like the type of money and power where he wouldn't need to bribe anyone or even donate a building to get his kids into school. He just like he'd fucking just like
his last name is enough to get you into something.
He just like says the word and that's it. And then maybe he'd like throw an auditorium at them, like just out of the kindness of his fucking heart, you know?
Yeah. Just having like anyone in his family as your alumni would be enough.
Yeah, exactly. He actually got kicked out of Harvard though, so
that's cool.
I don't think and none of his kids went to college. So
he got kicked out of Harvard just like Lil Tay. That's tight.
But he was like legit the youngest flexer of the century though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's true though.
Okay. So Willie was the son of a mining millionaire, and Willie turned his dad's measly millions into an estimated 30 billion in today's money.
That chump change.
That chump change. He was just like, he's like, oh, you're a millionaire, Dad? Watch this.
I'm going to laugh at whoever tells you that you're crazy when you said that this fool making $4,000 a week is not that baller.
It's not.
You're so...
We're talking about billionaires, you know?
Yeah, I know. That's still like $200,000 a year. A lot of people would think that's a lot, May.
Okay, come buy a house in Los Angeles.
No, that's a thing. They're not here.
Okay, and so Willie used all of his dad's money to start the country's largest newspaper and media company, Hearst Communications. If you've ever seen the movie Citizen Kane starring Orson Welles, it's based on his life. P.S. Skinny Orson Welles can kind of get it. Because he likes magic and reciting Shakespeare and shit, and I'm here for it. Okay, so Willie basically controlled the media because he owns so many fucking newspapers. At some point, he had like 30 in every major city and like dozens like throughout the country.
Yeah.
And all of his papers tended to use yellow journalism, which was like the OG fake news, where he just have the papers write the most scandalous, craziest shit with little basis in reality just to get larger and larger audiences, and that shit fucking worked.
He created like the headline thing.
Yeah, exactly. So his papers always had stories about crime, corruption, and sex and shit. And you and I would definitely be reading his papers in the roaring 20s.
Oh, fuck yeah.
If we were allowed to read, I don't know, because we're brown women, so I don't know the rules.
We would have been like dancers at a nightclub.
I don't know how to dance.
I can't dance. Yeah. Never mind.
Did they have bottle girls? He could have been bottle girls.
With cigars, cigarettes.
Yeah, we could do that for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Anyway, so this dude was like low-key the most powerful guy in the country. He'd run for president at one point, but he lost. And he was also in the movie business because he owned a studio, Cosmopolitan Pictures. I like that.
Me too.
Which he acquired so that his mistress, Marion Davies, who was an actress, would always have a movie to do. That's the kind of sugar daddy I need in my life. Let me buy you this movie studio. Put your ass to work. So Marion Davies was a bad bitch. She was that bitch. She was super charming and beautiful, and to top it all off, a low-key, gifted comedic actress. She made her own small fortune in acting before she met Willie. And then Willie promoted her acting in all of his newspapers and shit, which super backfired because then, of course, everyone loved to talk shit and say that she was only famous because of him.
Yeah.
Plus, Willie only liked to see her in dramatic roles, so he almost only let her do that, which sucked because that's not really where her talents were.
Right.
So she was making these movies that she's actually kind of bad in, and Willie has her on the cover of almost every newspaper in the country talking about how great she is.
Oh, no.
And like naming movie theaters after her and shit. So it really put her in a bad spot. Like, I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
I don't think I've mentioned that Willie is married this whole time. And his
you
wife...
said that was his mistress.
His mistress? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, his wife, Millicent... You don't hear that name anymore.
Hell no.
Millicent.
Marianne, neither that much.
So Millicent is off in New York living her best life, not giving a fuck about what her husband is doing, spending his money, being a philanthropist. Like, I stan. Okay, so Willie is super in love with Marion. Like, he would die for her. He loves her so much. They had a secret love child in the early 1920s named Patricia Lake. We need a love child alert. Just like we have a divorce alert, love child alert. Okay. So the love child's named Patricia Lake, and they sent her away and passed her off as Marion's niece until Patricia was on her deathbed in 1993 when she confessed it.
Oh, God.
But Marion and Willie told her when she was a kid and gave her away at her wedding and shit, so it was a weird situation, but it seemed like she was fine.
Yeah.
Marion was like 34 years younger than Willie, but I do think that she really loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, like he was devoted for her, so at the very least, she cared for him deeply. But I'm gonna assume that she loved him because she had her own money, so she didn't necessarily need him in that way.
Right.
Especially because she knew that they couldn't get married, so she would always be his mistress.
Right.
Anyway, they were living pretty openly together in California since about 1919. So cut to November 1924. Thomas Ince is doing his thing, trying to expand his business and make that paper. And Willie, owner of Cosmopolitan Productions, which if you remember, he literally only has to make movies for Marion, he wants to negotiate a deal with Thomas so that he can kind of use Ince Studios to make Marion's movies and slap his Cosmopolitan Pictures logo on them, which happens all the time. He had a deal in place with the studio that would later become MGM, but you know him. He's a businessman, so he wanted to make a newer, better deal with Thomas.
Right.
And of course, Thomas would love to be in business with Willie, so this is a big deal for him, and he works out the outline of a deal with him. It was around the time of Thomas's 44th birthday, so Willie and Marion invite Thomas on Willie's lavish 280-foot yacht, the Oneida,
Wow.
to celebrate his birthday and to finalize the deal. On the yacht were Willie and Marion's homies, Charlie Chaplin, author Eleanor Glynn, a handful of actors and dancers of the time, a retired medical doctor named Daniel Goodman, who was now in the film business with Willie, and finally Luella Parsons, who was a syndicated movie/gossip columnist at one of Willie's newspapers. Now, Luella was pretty popular at the time, not super duper famous or feared as a gossip columnist yet, but she would become that later in life. At this time, she was still sort of on the rise. Luella claims that she was never on the yacht, but a lot of other sources place her on the yacht at the time, so either she's lying or people are straight up making shit up.
Right.
The movie The Cat's Meow places her on the yacht, though, which makes a total of 14 guests. Okay, so the yacht was taking off from San Pedro. Shout out to San Pedro.
Shout out to that fried fish, baby.
To that fried fish and those potatoes. Hell yeah. So they're taking off on a Friday, but Thomas had to go to a premiere of one of his movies on Friday. So he ended up taking the train down to San Diego and hopping on the yacht that Saturday morning. Now, this is the story that Dr. Goodman, the only one of the 14 guests on the yacht who was interviewed, later told the police. The only one of the 14 guests and crew. Like, this is literally the only person the police talked to.
Right.
He said that everything was cool until Sunday night. At Sunday night dinner, Thomas had some salted almonds, toast, and champagne.
Ugh.
I'm sure he had other things to eat too, but these are the important things. The champs, you gotta throw the champs. Okay, later he woke up in the middle of the night in distress, but he had crazy bad peptic ulcers, so he thought he was just having tummy troubles. Since he ate all that shit, like he shouldn't be
salty things.
Alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
all these things are forbidden. So Dr. Goodman checked him out and thought that it'd be best to get him off the yacht and home. So they get off and they get on a train back to LA, and Thomas started presenting symptoms of a heart attack. So they get off at Del Mar so that his wife and his personal physician can come and meet them. They decide to get back on the train once they get there, where he had a massive heart attack and died.
What?
Okay. It sounds sketch, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if this is true, why did no one think to take him to the hospital?
Yes.
Right? And Dr. Goodman, a medical doctor, presumably would have recommended this as soon as he started becoming symptomatic on the first train ride. I could see if he thought like, okay, it's indigestion, let's ride this out or whatever. But as soon as he thought like, oh shit, he might be having a heart attack, why don't you just take him to the hospital?
Right. Why do you need his personal physician? You're a fucking physician.
Yes. And his personal physician, it's not even like, oh, okay, let's call him. He'll get in his car. He'll be here in 15 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. No, he had to get on a train from LA.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, we have to remember that this is all happening during Prohibition.
Uh-huh.
And we know that there was hella booze on the yacht.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is one of the richest men on earth partying with these Hollywood types, and Marion is an alcoholic. I don't know if she was back then, but she loved to fucking drink. She loved to party. She's a party girl.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so they were getting fucked up. So did he die of alcohol poisoning? Like maybe did they have like a bad batch of booze and like this story was some type of cover up? I don't know. But remember what the original LA Times headline said.
Yeah, he got shot.
Yeah, movie producer shot on Hearst yacht. Okay. The story that started spreading around and what's depicted in the movie The Cat's Meow was this. Charlie Chaplin and Marion Davis were having a big time affair.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were ready to run away together. But their lives were super complicated because Marion cared deeply for Willie. And Charlie had just gotten Lita, a 15-year-old actress, pregnant.
Oh, God.
He would later marry Lita. And Lita says that Marion gave her a lot of good advice on how to deal with Charlie.
Ooh.
But Charlie and Marion were down to risk it all and leave their lives behind to be together. The whispers about Charlie and Marion had been going around Hollywood for quite some time, and they were spotted being a little too friendly together out on the town a few times. And I think it was like Willie's newspapers, obviously they weren't going to report that shit because, you know, that's the boss's girl.
Yeah.
But it was stuff that was going around other newspapers, and he hated that shit.
Of course.
And also, Charlie and Marion were much closer in age. I think Charlie was like 8 years older than her. And he had swag, and she had it all. So I'm sure that they were getting it in.
Yeah.
Plus, Charlie had visions of putting Marion in his movies since she was so talented at comedies, and he really wanted to see her shine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so legend has it that Charlie and Marion were getting a little messy on the yacht since they were drinking and shit. And Willie noticed. Later in the evening, he saw Thomas having a private conversation with Marion, but he saw them from behind, and he thought it was Charlie. Finally had enough and shot him in the head.
Jesus Christ.
When he realized that it was Charlie, he panicked and was super remorseful, but that's when the cover-up started. They called Dr. Goodman, who confirms that he's still alive, but says they have to get him to a hospital. Somewhere in the commotion, Luella Parsons saw what happened, and she and Willie come to an understanding. Because shortly after these events, Willie widened her syndication and gave her a fucking lifetime contract.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh. Gotta love that hush money, baby.
So arrangements were made to cut the trip short and get everyone off the yacht. Willie gets everyone to swear to secrecy about the whole weekend, although it seems like the only witnesses were Dr. Goodman, Luella Parsons, Marion, and Willie.
Yeah.
Because it was like the middle of the night, so no one was really around. They had heard some commotion, maybe. Someone said that they heard maybe a gunshot, but figured that it had just been the machinery of the yacht. You know,
right.
Maybe it was just the engine or whatever.
Right.
So no one really knew anything, but he thought it was best to get everyone to promise to just shut up about it anyway, so that people wouldn't start piecing things together.
Right.
And it would have worked, except that they had to call Charlie's chauffeur to pick him up at the dock because Mr. Charlie Chaplin travels in style, you know?
Yeah.
And when they took Thomas's body off the yacht in the morning, the chauffeur noticed that he was bleeding from the head and told Charlie.
Oh my God.
So then Charlie starts getting suspicious, and eventually, like a few days later, he talks to Marion, who spills the beans and said that she could never leave Willie after all that happened.
Oh
Also, Charlie has the problem of his pregnant child bride. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So any plans that they had of being together were unrealistic anyway. So
bye.
Yeah. The LAPD declined to investigate, and the case was closed super quickly.
What? But homeboy had a gunshot wound?
That's what the chauffeur describes it as. Like, he saw him like bandaged with like blood coming out of his head. Which, if he had a heart attack, if he had, an ulcer or whatever, there's no reason.
Yeah. Wow.
For the record, he had an open casket, and no one saw anything. But I mean, the story is it's the back of the head.
Right.
So it's completely possible that even in an open casket, no one would have seen it.
Wow. Different times, man. You could get away with anything back
one
then.
of the cool things is that Charlie's chauffeur was Japanese. And so the story first started spreading among all the Japanese like housekeepers and stuff in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
So that's like sort of where it came from, which I think was pretty cool. Like there's that secret sort of like other society that people don't even think about, but that's where like we got the tea from.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so remember, this is one of the most powerful men on earth we're talking about. If he wanted this to go away, it definitely could have gone away, and it did. So I guess we'll never know what really happened, and that's the story of Thomas Ince's death.
That's fucking crazy.
Just one more thing. I want to point out something cool about Marion Davies.
Okay.
Willie ended up losing everything during the Depression and the 1930s.
Uh-huh.
He owed tens and tens of millions of dollars and had to sell off practically everything to survive. Marion ended up selling off all of her jewelry and cashing out on her stocks and bonds and taking out a loan in her name just to keep him afloat so that he could keep his newspapers.
Wow.
Things eventually picked up, and when Willie died, he left her enough shares and stock of the company that she controlled Hearst Communications, and she was balling out of control.
That's fucking awesome.
And then she sold off just enough so that she didn't have to be in control, kept the rest, and married 11 weeks after Willie's death.
Oh, shit.
She's a fucking G. I love her. She's tight. She became a philanthropist and like a patron of the arts and shit. She's dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway,
you love murders on yachts, May.
What's another murder on a yacht? Oh, Natalie Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. This one too. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to believe about this one because, you know, who knows?
It's way too like the story that the doctor tells is fucking bullshit.
It's sketch. Like, what are they trying to hide?
Bullshit. It's like the worst story ever. We got fucking actors on this ship. They couldn't come up with a better story. Damn.
Yeah, so Kirsten Dunst plays Marion Davies in it.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Shout out to Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, underrated.
Yeah, she's cool as fuck.
If they were to come forward and blow the whistle on this kind of thing, they would be finished.
There's a certain morbid appeal to seeing the high and mighty brought down to their knees.
All right. I got a story that's way different than your story.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Donald Sterling.
Okay, good.
Two guys that maybe people don't know about, huh?
You think?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Because the Donald Sterling thing, at least, like, that happened recently.
Yeah, it's really recent, actually. So Donald Sterling is mostly known for being the disgraced former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers professional NBA team and for being a racist. Like,
fuck the Clippers and fuck racists.
A real ass racist.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind because there's a lot of awful racist shit in this one.
You know what I was just thinking about? Why did the thing about the governor of Georgia just blow over?
What happened?
Remember he was in blackface?
No?
Or
Oh, yeah. What happened?
Like, he was like, well, just going to keep being governor now. People forgot about that shit. Thank God.
Fucking Jussie Smollett came out or some shit. Yes. Some people were on some new shit. God damn it. All right. So Donny was born April 26, 1934 in Chicago, Illinois, but quickly moved to Boyle Heights in LA when he was a toddler.
Dope.
His parents were Jewish immigrants. He went to Theodore Roosevelt High in LA and then graduated in 1952. Then he went to Cal State.
What?
Sorry, I don't know why I was like, what? I wrote Cal Status. I was like, sorry. Cal State LA after high school, and then he went to Southwestern Law School and graduated in 1960.
So he didn't come from money?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Bloop, bloop.
His actual last name is Tuckowitz, but he petitioned to change the name to Sterling, citing, quote, difficulty to pronounce and a belief that it would be financially beneficial to have a different name.
Jewish lawyer, Sterling. Yeah, I'd hire him. Except for the racist part.
Uh-huh. You know that Twitter account that's like a dog that barks when racism?
Yeah, racism watchdog.
Yeah, that guy.
Woof, woof, woof,
that dog would be barking like crazy all throughout this whole thing. So right before law school, Donald met and married Rochelle, a.k.a. Shelley Stein, in 1955, and they had 3 children, Scott, Chris, and Joanna.
I didn't realize they were so old.
Oh, yeah, they're old.
Okay. Shelly
nine-
looks good then. Shout out
Yeah,
to her.
she does look good. In 1961, after graduating law school and passing the bar, he started out practicing divorce and personal injury law, building his own practice from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
He said that at this time, Jewish attorneys did not have as many opportunities in prestigious law firms in LA, so he just went out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
With profits from his legal work, he ventured into the real estate market, first by purchasing a 26-unit apartment building in Beverly Hills.
Smart.
And then by purchasing lesser towers, a pair of apartment buildings in Westwood, Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
which he renamed Sterling Towers. And now I think they're Sterling International Towers. In 1976, he leased the California Bank building in Beverly Hills and renamed it Sterling Plaza.
Mhm.
He signed a 99-year lease.
Okay.
It required him to pay just a small annual fee and 15% of rental income.
Oh, wow.
I know. Shit's crazy.
Worth it.
By 2014, just to jump ahead, Sterling owned 162 properties in and around LA.
Okay.
So he was one of the investors in real estate where he was able to amass this massive fortune due to just like perfect timing, the right purchases.
Yeah, for sure.
He was doing really, really well, and he bought a house off Sunset Boulevard where he would walk to the Beverly Hills Hotel and was a regular at the poolside cabanas. Life was good.
Yeah, he had a beach body.
Yup, he sure did. Looked like a fucking circle. In 1979, his homeboy Jerry Buss, R.I.P.
Yeah, the man.
Who was
Dr.
also
Buss.
who was also a real estate investor around this time, sold a portion of some apartment buildings he owned to Donald for $2.7 million.
Okay.
And that's exactly what Jerry needed to cover the remaining balance in purchasing the LA Lakers.
Oh, dope. No. Oh, Jerry. Okay.
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah. Dope.
2 years later, Jerry suggested to Donny that he buy his own NBA franchise because he was doing so well with the Lakers. And they both kind of came up as real estate investors at the same time.
Yeah.
And so Donny did in 1981 when he bought the struggling San Diego Clippers for $12.5 million.
Wow. That's not that much.
Oh, no. That's cheap as fuck.
Like, you could presumably get you and like 40 of your friends to buy an NBA team.
Yeah, depending on what kind of friends you have, yes.
Yeah.
I would not go into business with 40 other people.
That's probably smart. Yeah, that's smart.
After buying the team, Sterling held a press conference vowing to spend unlimited sums to make the Clippers a real contender in the NBA.
Did he really have unlimited sums at that time, though?
He had a lot. He was really wealthy, but no,
Yeah, okay.
No, hell no. He funded a marketing campaign featuring pictures of his fucking face as the new owner.
As the mascot.
Yeah, and his promise to make everyone proud of the San Diego Clippers.
Damn.
Jerry Buss had instant success with the Lakers, but Donny did not, as the Clippers struggled pretty much from the time he bought them until the 1991-92 season when they finally had some wins, already 11 years into his ownership.
Oh my God. Okay.
In 1982, Donny was fined $10,000 after he commented that he would accept them always finishing in last place as long as they always got the first draft pick.
That's a plan, my dude. Like, just 6 years in, you've got a starting five and someone coming off the bench who are all like the number one draft pick.
At the time, that $10,000, that was the largest fine that an owner had ever gotten.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Mark Cuban gets fined like
$100,000
like every 5 minutes.
Yes.
He has unlimited funds to make a team, though.
There you go. That's what you're talking about. I want to see Elon Musk join a team. Those motherfuckers ride hoverboards onto the fucking...
Smoke blunts.
Yeah, they got flamethrowers and shit. In June 1982, Donny attempted to move the Clippers to LA, prompting an NBA investigation into his ownership. The NBA committee recommended termination of his ownership after finding out that he was late in paying both creditors and players.
Oh, no.
He agreed instead to sell the team instead of them, terminating it.
Yeah.
Quit versus getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
And then the NBA tried reaching out to buyers who would agree to keep the Clippers in San Diego. And then Donald pulled some House of Cards shit because he handed over his presidency to Alan Rothenberg, which led the NBA to back off on their criticism. And ultimately, he never had to sell the team and he was never pushed out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
So
kind of just let the dust settle.
that was the power structure from then on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then in 1984, Donny moved the Clippers from San Diego to LA without NBA approval, costing him $25 million in fines.
Whoa. Okay, that's a fine right there.
He countersued the league for $100 million, and then they negotiated, and his fines were lowered to $6
million?
Yes. So
Oh,
he's like,
wow.
all right, I'll pay the $6.
It's crazy that you can't move a team without their approval.
Yeah. Why? I mean, I guess having multiple teams in the same spot is less profitable for everyone, right?
I don't know. Because
Like,
then
if
you
you had
wouldn't
3
see
LA
it that
teams,
often.
You wouldn't see what that often?
You wouldn't see two teams in the same town that often. We have two football teams, we have two basketball
baseball
teams.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on the market.
I guess so. I think the Lakers were so good too. They were probably like, "What are you doing, moving the Clippers to LA?"
Yeah, true.
Who knows? Anyways, so Donny was heavily criticized for his cheap operation of the Clippers, due in part to consistent losses on the team.
Mhm.
The Clippers were long considered a losing team, and his ownership was often at the forefront of that criticism because of his reluctancy to spend on players, his reluctancy to sign free agents, his antics on the sidelines because he would heckle his own fucking players during games.
And when that's the only person in attendance at the game, then
Yeah,
it's,
right?
you know.
It's just your owner yelling at you. You're not going to do well. ESPN then named the Clippers the worst franchise in all of professional sports.
They're not wrong. They're fucking up there.
In 1996, a property management consultant of Sterling's by the name of Christine Jaski sued him for sexual harassment, claiming that she was forced to quit her job after he repeatedly offered her money for sex and for her to recruit sexual partners for him.
Wow, okay.
Donald countersued and they reached a settlement out of court in 1998.
All right.
In 1999, Donald's eldest son, Scott, was arrested for shooting his friend, Philip Schneid, which was allegedly regarding a dispute over a woman.
Oh, wow.
Scott's friend had Scott shot his friend from behind and insisted that it was in self-defense, which doesn't make sense.
What?
Yeah, how are you going to shoot someone from behind, but that's self-defense?
Come on, my guy. Your dad didn't buy a building at your college for you to make up that kind of excuse.
Scott was never formally charged for the shooting, fueling heavy speculation that Donny, quote, fixed this issue for him.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, there are a lot of overlaps in this story.
I know.
In your story and my story.
I know.
Interesting.
And
LA, San Diego.
Yeah.
Shot
And
in the
Shelly
back of the
and Marion, I think, are low-key similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how rich people be fixing shit for their parents? Like getting them into college and shit. Getting them out of jail and getting them into college.
That's the American dream.
Right?
That's why our parents came here.
In 2002, a property supervisor, Sumner Davenport, sued Donald for sexual harassment for unwanted and offensive physical conduct and contact. She actually took her case up and lost at trial.
Ooh.
Yeah. In February 2003, the Housing Rights Center of Los Angeles filed a housing discrimination lawsuit against Donald Sterling on behalf of 18 tenants.
Mm-hmm.
The lawsuit cited several racist remarks by Donald, such as, quote, "Black people smell and attract vermin," and, quote, "Hispanics just smoke and hang around the building," as well as his intent to only rent to Korean tenants because, quote, "They will pay rent and live in whatever conditions I give them."
Oh, God. So he's a slumlord. He's a racist slumlord.
Yep. The case resolved, including an award of over $4 million in attorney's fees for the plaintiff's attorneys. And the plaintiff's settlements is regarded to be one of the largest of its kind, although it's still completely confidential to date.
So just the 18 people?
Yeah, the 18 people got like a shit ton of money.
Wow.
Because that's what I'm saying, like $4 million for their attorneys.
Yeah.
So imagine how much they got.
Right. Ooh. And I bet their attorneys worked on, what is that called when you just get a piece of the settlement? You know, like you don't have to pay up front.
Oh, yeah. That's like how all workers' comp attorneys are. I don't know. But yeah.
But
PI
yeah,
it does it like that too. It's just based on your settlement.
Right. So damn,
You don't
if
have
the
to
attorneys
put like a retainer.
retainer, yeah. So if they got like 4 million, it's got to
Yeah.
be like, oh, maybe I don't know. It's hard to speculate.
Yeah,
15 million or
It's got
something.
A shit ton, yeah.
Yeah.
That same year in 2003, Donald Sterling sued his longtime mistress, Alexandra Castro. He sought return of a house that she was living in, which he owned after their relationship ended. Castro had signed a contract from him protecting him from palimony or any other type of common law marriage benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Their agreement said, quote, Sterling is happily married to Shelley, has a family, and has no intention of engaging in any activity inconsistent with his domestic relationship.
Okay. All right.
Castro claimed that Sterling consulted her on Clippers' decisions, and so she was entitled to keep the gifts that he had given her.
Okay, so it's your fault the Clippers suck? I don't think you want to be like saying that shit out loud.
Right, girl? Keep that shit to yourself. During a 2003 sworn deposition from this lawsuit, Sterling described the arrangement as he understood it. He said, quote, he testified to this, okay?
Okay.
It was purely sex for money, money for sex, sex for money, money for sex. I was paying her. It was in exchange for sex. It wasn't a gift. I wasn't giving her money without her performing something for me. And if it wasn't good, I wouldn't give her anything. It was money for sex, sex for money. How can you say it was a gift?
And Your Honor, I would move that we start a recess right now. So I could pay some more sex for money and some more money for sex.
Money for sex, sex for money.
Let's get tattoos of that.
Yep. They settled out of court in 2004. Then there was a bit of change of pace with the Clippers, who sucked pretty bad up until this point.
Yeah.
When they won 47 games in the 2005-2006 season.
Wow.
This was the second highest wins in the season for this team since Donny had become owner.
Okay.
They made the playoffs in 2011-2012 season and became pretty solid once they got Blake Griffin and Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this time, Donny refused to relocate the Clippers or sell the team, even though he was getting hella offers. And I just want to point this out, like I was reading later when things came out about him, that I guess Donny was kind of like the joke of the NBA owners.
I bet.
Like out of all of them, like he was kind of like nobody took him seriously. And,
yeah.
And he was just a joke. Like everybody made fun of him and shit.
Yeah, because you're moving in circles with like billionaires and like
really, really intelligent people.
Right.
Yeah. And he is really smart. He's smart for doing what he did, but he also is really lucky in that he invested in real estate in Los Angeles right before the shit like quadrupled in price, you know? So,
right.
So he did make really smart investments, but also he was lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In September 2008, Sterling spent $50 million to build a state-of-the-art practice facility and headquarters for the Clippers in Playa Vista.
Oh, you know another thing?
What?
I wonder if they were like shitty to him because he's Jewish also. I can't imagine that there's that many Jewish owners.
That's true, maybe. After he made that practice facility, a bunch of other NBA teams jumped on that bandwagon, including the Lakers, and doing the same. But he was the first one to do that shit.
Cool.
Because before then, people had just been practicing at like UCLA and USC and shit. So professionally, in terms of with the team, things are starting to work out for Sterling after years and years of losing seasons. But his real estate business was still getting a lot of heat and attention for his racist ways. In 2006, the United States Department of Justice sued Sterling for housing discrimination for using racial questions as a factor in allowing tenants in his building. The lawsuit indicated again that Donald refused to rent to non-Koreans at an apartment complex he owned in Koreatown. ESPN reported that Sterling paid $2.7 million to settle that lawsuit.
Wow. Okay. There was a race question on the application?
Yeah, a bunch of them, not just a race question, like a grip.
What? That seems so obvious to me. Like, you're dumb for doing that.
He's really dumb. Yeah.
You could have, you could have just told your manager, listen, don't rent to anyone who's not Korean.
Yeah. What's their last name?
Yeah.
Yeah. By 2012, Donald and his wife Shelley were estranged, and he officially moved out of their Malibu Beach mansion into his own Beverly Hills one. Drying my tears with hundreds. Am I right? Allegedly, that year, Donald ruined Christmas for his family like the Grinch when he was having a very loud argument on the phone with one of his mistresses while everyone sat down for Christmas dinner, including like his kids and grandkids and shit.
Oh my God.
So after that, that was like the end for Shelley. She was like, get the fuck out of my house.
Hell yeah. Shout out to you, Shelley.
1 week after that historical Christmas dinner and just after he had moved out, on New Year's Eve 2012, Shelley and Donald's eldest son, Scott, was found dead on the couch of his Malibu apartment at the age of 32.
Oh my God. This is the same one who killed a guy.
He didn't kill a guy. He shot a guy.
Oh yeah, he shot a guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, yes.
Okay.
He was alone in his apartment at the time of his death, and his family said that they hadn't seen him since Christmas.
Whoa.
An investigation showed that it was an accidental drug overdose, as well as complications from his type 1 diabetes. Shelley later said that Donald didn't come see her for over a day after hearing about their son's death.
What the fuck?
What a dick, right?
He's like a real life monster.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster. How could you do that? Regardless of like your relationship didn't work out with her, but this is your son together. You guys share this son.
Right. And you probably more than anyone would know how heartbroken she must be.
Yeah. And then after he died, they released a statement saying something like it was a drug overdose, like it was, but they said something like, oh, Scotty had struggled with diabetes for a long time. Like they kind of tried to, swing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then on April 25th, 2014, TMZ released a recording of a phone conversation between Donald Sterling and his mistress, Miss Stiviano, who was born Maria Perez and has also gone as Monica Gallegos, Vanessa Perez, and Maria Valdez.
This is the heroine of our story.
Yes.
Enter the heroine of our story.
No, fuck this girl. She's not my heroine. In the recording, Sterling was upset regarding a photo that Miss Stiviano had posted on her Instagram standing with Magic Johnson.
Uh-huh.
Donald tells Stiviano, quote, "It bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people." And she tells him, quote, "You associate with black people." And he says, quote, "I'm not you and you're not me. You're supposed to be a delicate white or a delicate Latina girl."
And white and or Latina.
And or Korean. That's it. That's all I accept on my applications.
Oh my God. Okay.
Then he said, quote, "You can sleep with black people. You can bring them in. You can do whatever you want. But the little I ask of you is not to bring them to my games."
Well, in his defense, that's not asking much. Where did they find each other?
Who?
Where did she come from? V. Stiviano and
They met at a
Sterling
party or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I didn't really get too into that. The recording was posted by TMZ and then it blew up overnight, and Donald immediately retained attorney Bobby Samini as lead counsel regarding the blowout against the NBA, Stiviano herself, and TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
Then Clippers president Andy Roser now issued a statement indicating that Stiviano was in a lawsuit by the Sterlings, and she had been advising that she was going to find a way to get even with him, hinting at this all being a plot to some sort of revenge.
Okay.
1 month prior to the recording, Shelley had sued Stiviano for the return of an LA duplex, a Ferrari, 2 Bentleys, and a Range Rover, all valued in over $2.6 million.
That duplex was nice. But honestly, like, if I'm sleeping with like this super rich dude, like, you can't get me a detached property, my guy. I gotta live in a duplex.
No, he doesn't really care about her. The court did order her to return everything to Shelley.
That kind of sucks.
Why?
If someone gives you a gift, you gotta give it over because their wife wants it back.
I don't think he really gave it to her. I think everything was still in his name. He was just letting her borrow it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's different.
Yeah. On April 26th, one day after the recording, the Clippers held a meeting to discuss the incident with the coaches and the players about the comments because everybody was angry, briefly discussing a boycott in their next game against the Warriors.
Blake Griffin was only half angry.
But the Clippers players protested Sterling's remarks by wearing their shirts inside out in order to obscure any team logo during their pregame huddle. On April 28th, the Miami Heat also wore their uniforms inside out to show solidarity with the Clippers. LeBron James commented on the situation, saying there's no room for Donald Sterling in the NBA, and the owner of the Miami Heat called the incident appalling, offensive, and very sad. I always like when players across different teams come together to support each other.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also, the king has spoken. LeBron has spoken. Whatever LeBron says, let's do it.
Yeah. A bunch of different players condemned Sterling's remarks. Kobe Bryant said players are more in tune with owning themselves because Sterling also, when he's talking to Stiviano, makes some comments about kind of like how he owns the talent.
Yeah.
And Kobe said, when he said that, it cuts deep into the spirit of progression for us because players fight a lot for, their own voice and everything. And they don't like being treated like pawns, even though they mostly are.
And also, there's that layer of, like, these are mostly black players being
it's racist, owned
and
by this white man.
And traded by white people in general, the league.
Yeah.
So, like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Chris Bosh said, we need to set the tone for other teams and show the young guys out there, no, this isn't okay, and we're all going to say something about it. Kevin Durant said, in this day and age, I thought our country had moved so far from that. Oh, Kevin Durant. Little did you know what was around the corner. Some other people, such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, questioned if Donald had been unfairly stripped of his privacy.
Kareem, no.
I know. Really,
no,
my dude?
He's super woke, too. That just doesn't seem like something he would say.
Yeah, maybe he has some sort of
personal connection to him.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The NAACP canceled plans to award Sterling with a Lifetime Achievement Award. President,
what?
I don't know, because I mean, I think he does actually donate to like inner city communities and shit. It's just like he donates to charities where it like makes him look good. It's like a power
it's a
move.
cover.
Yeah.
It's a cover.
Yeah, because on the one side he has all these fucking lawsuits. On the other side, he's got to have something else. President Obama, I miss saying that, stated that these were incredibly offensive racist statements. The Clippers' biggest sponsors ended their relationship with the team, including Chumash Casino, CarMax, and Virgin America. On April 29th, 2014, UCLA rejected and returned the $3 million gift that Donald Sterling had made to their college.
Oh, that's crazy.
On April 29th, 2014, 4 days after the recording went public, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver announced that Donald Sterling had been banned for life from the league and fined $2.5 million, which was the maximum penalty by the NBA Constitution.
I like basketball a lot, and I like the way the NBA does business. I think that if this were another league, MLB or NFL, they might have just let the shit slide. Like, it could have blown over, but the NBA can
NFL
move
for
quickly.
sure.
Yeah. How long did you say? 4 days after this happened?
4 days.
Yeah, they move quickly.
They also said that, so I'll get into it right now, but basically like the players and the NBA committee had this like super tense relationship since the last lockout.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then that was with the prior commissioner, David Stern. So then when Adam Silver came on, this was kind of like his big moment to like show the players that they actually care. So it was also like super important that he moved fast and he do something that said something to them,
Well, good for them.
Yeah. The NBA basically stripped Donald of all of his authority over the Clippers and banned him from entering any Clippers facility and attending any NBA games. This is regarded as the most severe punishment imposed on a professional sports team owner ever.
Wow.
The players were super happy. And like I said earlier, this was a huge deal following the lockout years prior. And everybody was really, really praising Adam Silver.
Mm-hmm.
Then Silver announced that they were moving to force Sterling to sell the team based on willful violations of NBA rules. Miss Stiviano was then followed around LA by the Paps and on social media by the drama lovers.
Wearing her signature visor.
Yep, her visor covering her whole ass face.
I have one of those.
She was seen going to restaurants, rollerblading outside her duplex, offering water to the paparazzi, and saying that she was one day going to be president.
Okay.
She then gave an interview with our favorite bitch, Barbara Walters. And spoke out on behalf of Donald.
What?
Yes. Ugh. She said Donald was confused. He was tormented, and she was helping him get through this. She maintained that she is not Donald's girlfriend, rather his business associate. She said, I'm Mr. Sterling's right-hand arm man.
Oh, I remember that.
His everything. His confidant, his best friend, his silly rabbit. To which Barbara Walters said, his what?
His right-hand arm man.
Yeah, his right-hand arm man. Then she kept spewing some more bullshit that I think she considers profound or spiritual or something. Yeah. It's really, I don't like to talk bad about other women, but I do not like this girl so much. Her interview is so fucking fake and prepped, even though I don't think it's prepped enough, if that makes any sort of sense, because she's so fucking unnatural and all over the place.
Yeah.
She plays dumb in a really awfully cringy way. She defends Donald a lot. And I think that I wish it was literally anybody else that would have exposed him, because I don't think she gives a shit that he's racist. I think she only did that for her own selfish benefit.
Yeah.
I don't really think she gave a fuck about anybody on the team, the NBA, or anything. She exposed him because she was looking to get something for herself. And I really don't respect that.
You think she tried to blackmail him?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll get into more.
Okay.
So Clippers employees said that, right now. I'll get into more right now. Clippers employees came out saying that Stiviano had begun texting a whole bunch of people that worked at the Clippers because Sterling had broken up with her. He was done with her. He was telling her to move out of his place. And, he then revoked her game tickets, which I guess she always had game tickets.
Yeah. And
the day that he revoked her game tickets, she sent a text and an email to his assistant saying, let the games begin.
Oh, that's badass though. I like that.
Then Shelly filed the lawsuit for the cars and condo. And then not even a month later, she leaked that tape. Oh,
yeah. There you go. It was the last straw. Now she's homeless,
Yeah. So you guys decide,
Oh,
because we don't. So technically, she's never said that it was her that leaked the tape. So, yeah. But I'm gonna guesstimate. I'm no math magician.
It's like Mel Gibson's girlfriend, baby mama.
Oh yeah.
Like allegedly the tapes didn't come from her, but who else would it have come from?
Yeah, but I'm on her side.
Yeah. I can't wait to use the term "let the games begin" against my enemies. That's so badass. That's like you always want to say that, and like now you have a reason to.
She basically fell off after the Barbara Walters interview, as people were way more interested in Donald, the NBA, and the Clippers drama.
Yeah,
and she can still be seen around Instagram hashtagging publishing houses, trying to get a book deal.
Oh, still? What else does she have left to say? We got it. He's a racist.
Mm-hmm.
You a hoe.
But she doesn't have any more income now, or no more sugar daddies. So
yeah.
Donald's first public comment on the situation came 2 weeks after the lifetime ban, when he appeared on CNN with our boy Anderson Cooper on May 11th. He came to apologize, to clarify that he is not a racist, and to ask for forgiveness. He argued that Stiviano baited him into making these comments, but then he goes on to criticize Magic Johnson for commenting on the situation. He says Magic Johnson is a hypocrite. He made love to every girl in America, then he got HIV, and he should be ashamed of himself.
Oh my God, fuck him.
And then he said, this is not the kind of example we need for children.
Wow.
It's so fucking crazy, man. And you could see Anderson like just tensing up, like,
Yeah.
and because Sterling too, like he keeps saying AIDS, that Magic Johnson has AIDS.
Yeah.
And Anderson's like, well, he actually has HIV. Like
mhm.
finally he like can say
Yeah.
like, you know, just like, oh, it's
I don't understand. Is he mentally ill? Because, you know, presumably you're going on TV and you're like, all right, I need to fix this. Let me be on my best behavior. Let me
Right.
not bring up how Magic Johnson maybe has AIDS.
I think, yes, that, but also I just think that this is a man who is so far removed from like the earth, and
Yeah.
he's just so fucking prejudiced that he can't even
He can't help
hide
himself.
his prejudice during his fucking apology.
Or he doesn't think what he says is bad.
Oh no, of course, yeah,
Right?
no, for
Because
sure.
what he's been saying it for how old is he at this point? Like 60 something? Like, you know?
Yeah, for sure. There's another really shitty comment about him that stuck with me from Chris Paul. After all of this, he was talking about, you know, his experiences with Donald and stuff, and he's one of the ones that said, like, you know, Donald was always like the laughing stock of the owners, and we just all kind of went with it because, you know, we knew he had run the team for so long, you know?
Right. And was Chris Paul I think he was like the president of the Players Union or something at that time?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So then he said that at one time at like a Clippers holiday party at the Beverly Hills Hotel, Sterling was on stage and he brought Chris on stage to say a few words, and he like put his arm around him and said, like, why are you married? Look at all the beautiful women here. And Chris grabbed the mic and said, because I love my wife. And he said that Sterling had talked to his wife and his wife was in the audience
What?
when Sterling said this stuff. Like, he was like,
What a creep.
yeah, Chris was like, Sterling knew my wife was there and he still like said this shit
Yeah.
in front of everybody.
What the fuck?
This led NBA. So after the after the Anderson Cooper video, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver had to respond and apologize to Magic Johnson on behalf of the NBA.
I don't know that was necessary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Magic is a reasonable dude. He doesn't think in any way, shape, or form that the NBA condoned that kind of talk.
Adam Silver's doing the most. He's really trying to make himself look good here.
Yeah.
So what about Shelly, though? Shelly Sterling was co-owner of the team with Donny since 1983.
Yeah.
And she wasn't specifically included in the NBA ban on Donny.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA formally charged Sterling with damaging the league and scheduled a hearing for June 3rd, after which they could vote to terminate his ownership. So on May 23rd, 2015, Shelly Sterling said that her husband had authorized her to negotiate the sale of the team, and she reached a deal less than a week later to sell 100% of the Clippers to former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer for $2 billion.
That's a return on investment if I've ever heard one.
Let us not forget that this shit was purchased for $12.5 million.
Yeah.
She also signed a general release never to sue the NBA related to the case again, including anything initiated by her husband.
Huh.
The NBA then canceled the upcoming hearing against Donny. But Donald said, fuck no, I didn't give her the right to do that.
Oh, no.
And refused to sell the Clippers. He sued the NBA for $1 billion, alleging a violation of antitrust laws and the Constitution, which is a move right there.
Huh.
But just a few days later, he agreed to withdraw the lawsuit.
I feel some type of way about him profiting off of this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. So Shelly, what happened is Shelly got herself granted sole trustee of the Clippers by offering proof from 3 different doctors that Donald had Alzheimer's and lacked the mental capacity to be the trustee.
There you go.
She had even told her homegirl Barbara Walters that she thought Donnie had dementia. And a lot of people around the time were commenting on his constant incoherence and forgetfulness. So if you do watch the Anderson Cooper interview, he is like he's a dick and he's racist and prejudiced, but he's also low-key like not all there.
Yeah. And that does happen. Like if you've ever worked with old people in the throes of dementia, they do kind of lose a filter and you can't take it personally. That's just like, it's part of the disease.
Yeah, but they do not need to be running an NBA team.
Right. Something worth $2 billion.
Yeah. According to the first neurologist who examined him, Donald couldn't spell the word world backward. You could do it, May.
Okay. Yeah. I panicked for a minute.
So by this point, the drama had infiltrated the entire Sterling clan. According to Shelley, their grandchildren were being bullied at school. Reporters were following their family around. They had to change all of their cell phone numbers, and their remaining 2 children were anxious about the inevitable end of their ownership of the team because that's basically what they were banking their future on.
Oh, sure.
Their son-in-law at the time had been managing or co-managing, or he had some bullshit title for the Clippers. Yeah. Once they sold, he had to resign.
Oh.
The NBA was scheduled to vote on the deal, and then Sterling sued Shelley for damages, saying they're violating corporate law and defrauding him by naming her trustee. He sought an injunction to freeze the sale, but the court ruled in Shelley's favor and allowed her to request for an order to let the sale go through. Ballmer ended up finally purchasing the team on August 12th, and Shelley received the title Clippers #1 fan as part of the sale.
and the Sterlings are still legally married?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yep. I'll get to that right now. On August 5th, 2015, so right before, like pretty much right when he sued her, Donald filed for divorce from Shelley.
Okay.
But a year later, they put out a statement saying they resolved their differences. They're not proceeding with any divorce, and they're still married to this day.
Okay.
Shelley is often seen at courtside seats or at Clippers games to this day. People and players both say that she's intensely knowledgeable about the NBA and the team and will probably remain a fixture for the rest of her life.
Hell yeah.
Donny says he watches the games at home, but that he mostly, quote, focuses on the charities he supports, which is probably bullshit.
Yeah.
Because mostly these days, you can catch paparazzi footage of Donny walking around Beverly Hills with different girlfriends, shopping around stores, looking like a bored papaya.
Ooh, get you a papaya with Alzheimer's with a checkbook. That's what you need.
And that is not what you need. And that's the story of Donald Sterling and the Clippers.
Let the games begin. That's tight.
Yeah.
I can't believe they stayed married. Well, I guess
their marriage is like it's like more, I think, just an arrangement. I mean, they're not like in love or anything.
Of course not, but
yeah,
I guess it doesn't make financial sense.
Why?
To get divorced? Like
to get divorced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like money. Dividing their assets and everything would take so long, and they've figured it out like this for so long that it's just better for them to keep it going.
And then you probably have to do something about the fact that he's incapacitated, so you need to have like a trustee appointed, right? The court would appoint someone, a neutral party.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just let him live in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I think it works fine for them and their kids and shit, so I think that's perfect.
Right. Keep your Malibu house, take the chopper to the game, sit courtside, do your thing.
Yep.
Date one of the players now, maybe?
That'd be fucking sick.
Date what's Chris Paul's like alter ego from the insurance commercials? Cliff Paul.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh, I'm parched.
All right, guys. Well, that was this week's Drama Club.
Thank you for listening. Tune in on Monday for our Afternoon Delight episode. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Drama Club Pod. Hit us up on the website, dramaclubpod.com.
On the hotline, 505-539-0556. Write to us at P.O. Box 27433, Los Angeles, California, 90027. And we'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your however.